Good day to you, listeners. My name is Iola Motayo, and I'm here to teach you something about how to develop web application. And in this particular series, we're going to talk about a web server, database server, and how we can download and install the server in preparation for development of web application. The objectives are as follows. Uh, we are going to define what a web application is all about. We're going to give definitions to a web server, a web database server, and we'll give examples. We'll also talk about the popular platform that can give us web services and database services. And we'll also go practical by downloading and installing of XAMPP. Okay, what is web application? What's a web application? It's a computer program that utilizes a web browser and web technology to perform tasks over the internet. So we have web applications that use a combination of server-side scripts like PHP and ASP to handle the storage and retrieval of information, and client-side script. We also have client-side scripts like JavaScript and also the HTML, that is hypertext markup language, to present information to users. So this allows users to interact with the company or with the establishment or with the organization using online forms, content management systems, and we also have shopping carts and lots more. So simply, a web application allows a client uh, to make use of the browser to probably impute information on the web or to retrieve information. So simply, we go to examples of a web application. Like online form, when you fill a form online, probably you want to contact the company or the website's administrator. You fill a form, and while you fill the form, you are asked to present your name, your email, your phone number. Well, you present those on the form and you click on the submit button. It takes all that you have typed into the form down to a database where the admin will be able to access and retrieve your information. So when you also do online shopping, as you have a shopping cart, you finish your transaction, it sends a message to the web administrator that okay, a customer has asked that we should deliver so product. So a web application will give us opportunity to be able to fill forms on the website and get response as soon as possible. So we have popular applications like Google Apps, Microsoft 365. We have, uh, some web applications also include word processor, spreadsheets, video and photo editing, file conversion. Online, you can convert uh, PDF to Word, Word to PDF, and the rest. The application have been built, to the website for you to be able to perform accurate conversion. Also, your Gmail, your Yahoo Mail, they are all web-based application. Okay, and we have Google Apps like the Google Docs. When you are to edit a particular information on Google and you want to share it with others, so that we can have multiple form of editing and modification. The application by Google to do this is called Google Docs. We have Google Sheets, that's probably an alternative to Microsoft Excel. Google Slides, alternative to PowerPoint. We have online storage and more. So if you have a system online that allows you to do a lot, they are called web application because they are based on the website. So it allows team members to access the same version of the document simultaneously. That is what Google Docs can give to us. Let's look at the architecture of a web application. You look at this diagram, we have the web application architecture, we have the client side, and we have the web server. The client side, that's where you have the browser, could be Microsoft Edge, could be what have you, could be Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Firefox, Mozilla, Safari, and the likes, depending on uh, which of them do you prefer to use to surf the web. So we have it shown to the client through the browser, and we have some technologies to carry your information from the web browser down to the the database server, and we also have the business logic part. Okay, we also want to explain to you the process, what a web server is actually doing. What a web server is a program that uses HTTP, called Hypertext Transfer Protocol, to serve the files that form the web pages to users in response to their requests, which are forwarded by their computers, which is also known as the HTTP client. The image below shows the client sitting, a computer showing the browser sent a request through the internet down to the web server. And the web server in return serves the page. Let's assume someone fills a form and clicks on submit. The web server serves another page and says your form has been successfully submitted. And the web server also transfers all that has been filled down to the database server through the application server. So a program that uses HTTP, that's Hypertext Transfer Protocol, to serve files down to the database, and it's called a web server. So what are the examples of web servers? Number one is Apache, which is an HTTP server. The most popular web server in the world is developed by Apache Software Foundation and is an open source. It means that you can access it without payment, and it can be installed on almost all operating systems, including Linux, Unix, Windows, and in Windows we have it as XAMPP. In Linux, I think we have it as LAMP. So about 60% of web server machines run the Apache web server. So we are going to practically make use of an Apache web server for our practicals. We have other ones that we have the IIS, Internet Information Service, owned by Microsoft. We have the Light PD, is also a free web server distributed with FreeBSD operating system. We also have the Sun Java System web server. This web server from Sun Microsystem is suited for medium and large websites. Though the server is free, it is not open source. Let's move to database server. Database server refer to both hardware and software, and is used to run a database according to the context. As software, a database server is the back-end portion of a data application following the traditional client-server mode. So when a user submits a form, the content of that form is saved inside of the database. So, and the back-end portion is sometimes called the instance, and it also refers to the physical computer used to host the database. So the server can come in two forms. We have the hardware and the software. You understand? So also we have examples of database server like the MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle. And in practical, a web hosting database store your personal blog data. When you have a web hosting service or platform, you also have database services given, and you'll be able to save your information on the database through the website. So let me quickly introduce you to XAMPP, WAMP, and App Server. These are Apache flavors. XAMPP stands for cross-platform X. That is X. A stands for Apache. M stands for MariaDB, and P stands for PHP, and the other one stands for Perl. Simple, lightweight Apache distribution that makes it extremely easy for developers to create a local web server for testing and deployment purposes. So XAMPP is what we are going to work with, but let's talk about other ones, other Apache flavors. We have the WAMP, which stands for Windows, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. And the very good advantage of this particular application is it allows us to make use of both the web server and the database server on one platform. We also have the AppServe. The AppServe is also an application that will allow us to easily install Apache, PHP, and MySQL. PHP and MySQL, we don't need any skill for setting up step by step, and you can turn your PC to web server and database server. Okay, so now we move to practical. We want to download and install XAMPP. How do we go about it? We move to a web browser, assuming that you have internet connected on your system. Okay, go to google.com, and you want to download the XAMPP application that will give you the web server and the database server on one platform. You go to google.com and type in XAMPP download, and over here we have apachefriends.org. You click on download XAMPP, and depending on how fast your internet is, then you probably download any of this. We have the version 7.1, 7.2, 7.3. I will just ask you to download 7.3. Click on this and you click on save. Okay, this is for 64-bit, so you have to be sure that you are downloading the right version for your operating system. So we pause the tutorial and we wait for this file to complete download. Well, welcome back. I had to wait for about 10 minutes for the download to complete. Download is about 100 and what size? 146 MB. Okay. Now we have the download. I think next thing to do is to install. So when you install, you just click on it, right click, and run as administrator, and you go through the normal installation process. Okay, say yes, and it gives you some pop-up to continue the installation. So let me not waste much time on this. Pause and show us that the process is complete. Okay, click on OK and click next, and this is the default folder, which is the XAMPP folder, to be automatically created on the C directory. Click on next, and give it time to install. Okay, the installation is almost over. Okay, the installation is now, the setup is now completed. So do you want to start the control panel now? Yes, and click on finish, and the control panel shows up. You select your language. I think English is better for me, so I click on save, and that shows the control panel. So I want to thank you for watching, and you can reach me through my Facebook page, facebook.com/omotayoe, and also you can reach me through my website, omotayoeola.com.ng. Thank you for listening. In the next series, we're going to talk about the features of the XAMPP that we just installed.